Pilates and fascia release class. Today we're going to come to a seated position. So you have a number of options in your seated position. You can sit like this in a cross-legged position. If that's not comfortable, I would suggest changing the position. So we can come to a tall kneeling like this, or if you're comfortable kneeling back into the heels, that's another option. You could also start the beginning of class in a standing position if you wished. So we're going to find a position that works for us. Our focus is that we're getting this real length through both sides of the body. So we're going to start with our hands by our sides, wherever we are, and we're going to take an inhale, elevate the shoulders, and an exhale to soften the shoulders down. Breathe in to reach. And exhale, softening down through the shoulders. We take that one more time. Inhale, reach. Exhale, softening through the shoulders. Now we're going to take our right arm and we're going to reach it over towards the right side and then slowly release that down. Switching arms. If you're seated, you can take your opposite arm and place it on the floor. That gives you an extra bit of support as we're reaching to the side. If you're in that tall kneeling, that opposite hand will just be sliding down the thigh, so you won't be close enough to touch the floor. So as we're reaching to that side, it's the side body that we're opening out. We want to make sure that we're anchoring the hip down, so we're not lifting the hips. So it's almost like we're stretching up and out of our side pockets if we had side pockets. We're going to do one more to the left, reaching to side. Inhale, come back to the center. Now we're going to reach both arms up and behind the head. We're going to lift up through the right elbow as if we want to stretch the muscles in the right side of our body. And then we lift up through the left elbow. And now we come to the center. Then here we're going to just gently move side to side, but this time we're moving with our ribs. We're pressing the ribs to the right side, pressing the ribs to the left side. So shimmying and flossing out the side body. And at the same time, I want you to press into either your sit bones if you're sitting or your knees if you're kneeling, and ground into the floor with those points. Reach the head tall to the sky, as if we're really just trying to iron out the last few creases in the side body. Then from here, we're going to exhale, create a gentle fold. So the eye gaze is looking down at your mat. You've created a C shape through your spine. You're not pulling hard on your head. You're just facilitating that bow forward. And then as we inhale, we lengthen the crown tall and press our roots, whether that's the sit bones or the knees, into the floor, or the feet if you're standing. Exhale, round the spine. Inhale, come tall. Opening the elbows wide. One more time, exhale, round. Inhale, come nice and tall. From here, we're going to release our hands down, and we're going to come now into this side kneeling position. So you've got your two knees on top of each other. If you've got more flexibility through the hips, you're going to actually separate that, so you're in this like Z sit position. We're now going to come into that right arm lifting again, but this time we're going to turn and look to the floor. Tap the hand if it touches the floor. Maybe we're reaching out in space for the first few. Then we slowly cartwheel that arm back in space. So we exhale, reach to tap the floor. Eye gaze looks in that direction. And then we inhale, come up and out of it. You're going to do that 2 more times. Exhale, reach and tap. Inhale, up and out. Exhale, reach to tap. And then inhale, up and out. Now we're going to add another change. So we're going to reach and tap, but this time we're going to bend the elbows and lift the back leg, and then slowly release and reverse back to where we started. So we exhale into the bent elbows. Inhale, press up and out. As you exhale into that little push-up position, lift the back leg, the top leg lifts as well. So bottom leg is staying down. That bottom leg stays on the floor, back leg lifts, and then we lift to come out of it. We're going to go one more. Inhale, coming down, and then exhale, lifting out. Now we're going to go all the way down onto our tummy. You can watch me for this transition. So I'm going to come into that side position that I was in. I'm going to lift my back leg, but I'm going to lengthen it now. Lower the chest to the floor and extend the second leg. So I end up on my belly. I'm separating both feet away from each other, but I'm not taking it any wider than the mat. I'm going to let my elbows touch the floor and my palms of my hands. I'm going to just gently spread the fingers wide and press into the fingers as I lift on an inhale. And then I exhale, release it back down. So we're just warming up the back muscles here. We're going to go one more time, breathing in and slowly lowering everything down. Last 3. And down. 2 more. And down. And last one, lifting up and lowering back down. Okay, so you're going to listen up for the transition. So we're going to bring our hands into our side. We're going to come back into the same position that we started in that Z sit, but we want to be on the other side. So we have our hands by our side. We're going to lift ourselves up onto all fours, and then we're going to slide our opposite knee into our center, so we end up back in the Z sit position, but we're working on the opposite side. So I'll just turn around so you can see me. So in the first case, I had my left leg out in front. Now I have my right leg out in front. And if that's too much on hips, you take 2 legs, one on top of the other. Now we take our left arm and we reach it over to the side, and then we come back to the floor. As you're reaching to the side, you're looking to get the hand towards the mat. Maybe it touches on the first round, maybe you're just reaching in space for the first few. So we're reaching to wherever we get to and back down again. We'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, reach, eye gaze looks to the mat. Lift and open out. 1 more time. Lift and reach. And then opening back out. This time we're going into our press up. We're going to bring our back leg up, and then we rebound away from that. Exhale in, breathe in, out. And lift. We're going to go for another 2. Last 1. Now, same transition as the last time. Move into the hands. Extend the back leg long this time. Chest finds the floor, and then we roll the bottom leg underneath. So we come back into this prone position. Feet are as wide as your mat. You're pressing the tops of the feet into the floor. We're going to take the hands behind us and clasp them together onto our back. Now we inhale, lift the head and chest, press the knuckles down towards the heels, and then slowly release it. Take an inhale to elevate, open up the front of the chest, activating your back muscles, your rhomboid muscles. Keeps the upper body posture in a nice neutral position. So this is good to rebalance the posture if you're sitting at a desk all day. As you're lifting, try and press the feet into the floor. So we press the feet down, we lift on the inhale, we slowly lower back down. We've got 1 more. We'll lift to press and lower everything back to the floor. Bring the hands back to the side body. Slowly lift the upper chest, roll back into the knees. Shift the knees forward, so we're in a standing or a square box kneeling position here. We're going to extend through our right leg long, toes touch the floor. Then we're going to lift that leg up and tap it off the floor. So you're working into the glutes, your extensor muscles. Keep the leg as straight as you can as you're lifting up. If you want more challenge, take the opposite arm, reach it out as the leg is lifting on an exhale. Inhale, tap the foot, tap the hand. Turn the thumb up if you're reaching the arm out. So we're working into the lower trapezius muscles. They're the lower muscles of your back. So we reach for 5,
And 4. Gentle draw in of tummy. Try to avoid the back arching. 2 more. On the next one, we lift and hold. So we hold this position here. If you don't have the balance for that hand to be out there, keep the hand onto the floor. We're going to hold for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower the hand down. Now with the leg, I'm going to switch legs so you can just see more of what I'm doing, but you're going to stick with the same leg. So the leg is extended. You're going to slide that leg out to the side. You're going to let it find the floor. Now plant the whole sole of the foot down onto the floor. And then from there, you're going to lean over to that side. So that's my left leg, so I'm leaning over to my left leg. I'm getting a nice stretch into the groin here. So we hold here as we breathe in and out. You might get a further stretch by coming down onto the elbows. Depends on your own flexibility. Hold 3, hold 2, hold 1. Slowly release back to the center. So we're going to switch our legs to do the whole session on the second leg. So I worked my right leg first, now I'm going to do my left leg. So I lift the leg up and I tap down. As I'm lifting, I'm trying to keep my spine nice and neutral. So imagine there's a glass of water on your back and you're not letting the water fall or spill out of the glass. Add the challenge with the opposing arm. Exhale as we reach opposite arm, opposite leg. So we're working in through that center, in through that core line. You've also got that kneeling leg, doing some work to stabilize, to stop that right hip from falling out to the right side. We'll go for another 5, 4, 3, keeping the leg as straight as you can get it. 2, next one, lift and reach. Hold, choose whether you've got enough balance for that arm to be out, bring it in if it's needed. Keep the tummy working as you hold that position. There might be a little bit of rocking and that's okay. Hold 5, hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the hand. Slide the leg out. Let it touch the floor. Place the base of the foot down. Lean over into that side. Come onto the elbows if you need to. Extend into the stretch a little bit more. Holding. Pressing into the sole of the foot. Hold 4. Hold 3, 2, 1. Slowly release it. Well done. Do a little stretch back into the heels, reaching the hands long, head drops down, opening the back body, take a breath in, and exhale, just soften it out. Okay, from there we're going to turn around. We're going to be in a kneeling position, or not a kneeling position, a seated position. So we're sitting nice and tall, moving away from that kneeling position. Spine is nice and long. We can hook the hands underneath the back of the thighs to begin. We're going to start with this tipping back of our pelvis, this posterior tilt of the pelvis. We breathe in. Then on the exhale, we're connecting to our tummy muscles to come into this nice tall spine. Inhale as we roll through the pelvis, and then exhale as we gently lift up. If you find this easy, we're going to disconnect the hands, and we breathe in to roll through the pelvis. And then on the exhale, there's a little bit more work now because your hands are not helping you on the lift up. Inhale to tip the pelvis back. Exhale, tummy engages. Press into the tailbone, lengthen through the head. As we're going back, you can challenge the body a little bit more each time. Maybe going back a little bit further. Exhale to lift. We're going to go for 2 more of these. Inhale, round. Exhale, pick it up. And last one, breathe in to round it back. And exhale to pick it up. From here, we're going to add a little change.
So we're going to sweep our two hands to the side. We're going to bring this back arm back behind us. Draw the heels in a little bit closer and bend the elbow of the front arm. Now with the bent elbow, you're going to push your knees to the left side, or push your knees away from you. And then with your right shoulder, you're going to turn your body further into the right. So we create this big opening across the front of the chest. Breathe 3, breathe 2, breathe 1. Slowly bring the arms out in front. Sweep them to the opposite side. Right elbow against the knee. Push those knees across to the left. And then open out the left. Push the knees to the right, actually, sorry. And then open out the left shoulder. Breathing 3. So you're just using that anchor of the elbow to facilitate a bigger opening across chest. Last breath. Slowly release it out. Now release the feet a little bit more so they're gone wider again. Reach the arms out in front. Come back into your half roll back. We inhale, but this time we're going to sweep the arm open to the back corner of the mat. And then exhale, draw the tummy into lift. Inhale, sweep it back. Exhale, draw it up. Breathe in. And lift. So we're working the obliques here. So this is really good. If you're skiing, it supports your turns from side to side. Or if you're doing a sport that involves a lot of changing direction, we need those obliques to work really well to allow us to twist and turn. And lift. So we're going to go for 4 more. Inhale. Exhale, pull it forward. You can take a little pause there when you go back, so you have to work harder to come up. And the duration is that inhale, full inhale breath, and then you want to slowly come up so that it takes you the length of time it takes for an exhale to happen. Same on the way back on the inhale, and then exhale. That was your last one, lifting up. From here, we're going to roll ourselves all the way down onto our mat. Then we draw our heels closer towards our thighs. We take a breath in. We're in this neutral spine to begin with, little space under the back. And then on the exhale, you're going to tip your pelvis back and you're going to let your spine peel away one by one so that the hips are coming up. So you're opening up your hip flexors. So if you've a lot of tightness in your hip flexors or quads, this is a really good exercise to facilitate that opening through that front body. Take an inhale on the top. Then on the exhale, imagine the chest wall is melting, and that's allowing those upper vertebrae to lower, and the mid vertebrae come down, the lower vertebrae come down, and then the pelvis releases out, so you've got this natural curve in your low back, or that space underneath your low back. So we take your breath in again on the bottom. Exhale, tip your pelvis back, lift to reach it up. Inhale on the top. And then exhale, slowly release it down. So while we're creating this movement, so it's obvious we're creating mobility into the spine. But we want to think about the alignment of our feet. So as we tip our pelvis back and we start to lift the hips up, bring some observation into what your feet are doing. So we need to have all 4 corners of the feet down. So the big toe, the little toe, either side of the heel. You want to be pressing evenly into those 4 points. You want to check that the knees are only a fist distance apart, so we don't want the knees sweeping out to the sides. So draw them in if they've gone out wide. And then we want to try and keep that alignment of our lower body consistent as we lift and peel through the shoulder bridge. So we're creating mobility in through the spine, but we're also maintaining a good neutral posture in the lower body. So the upper and the lower body support each other via alignment. So we breathe in on the top, feeling that front body open, and then we exhale to lower everything back down. So we're going to add a further challenge here now in this next one. So we're going to take our breath in and lift up through our spine bridge, and then we're going to stay on the top. So rock the pelvis back, exhale, lift everything up. So we're holding up here in this position. We're going to really stand deeply into our left leg, then we're going to take our right leg up without our hips dropping or changing. And then we place that right foot down.
Take the left leg up to that 90-degree angle and then place it down. So we're alternating for 10. Each time you press the foot to the floor, deeply press into it so that it's really working the glute of the standing leg. Lift and lower. So we got 5 more. So again, this is really good if you play sports. You get to really work on stabilizing your support leg. Also good for golf. Lowering down. We've got 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Lift, lower that foot to the floor, and then slowly lower everything back down. Draw 2 knees in towards your chest, full stretch through the back body. Then bring your hands to the back of your thighs and rock yourself forward. We're going to go into a rolling like a ball now, creating mobility in through the spine. I'll show you an alternative if this doesn't work for you. So sometimes if you're quite sensitive through the spine, you may not like this exercise. So we're going to take both feet away from the floor. And then as I take my feet away from the floor, I tip my pelvis back, just like I did when I was doing this half roll back position. So you could actually nearly start in that, so kind of semi half roll position. Take the 2 legs up from the floor. Bring the hands to the front of the shins. So we don't want the hands behind the knees when we get into this movement. So the hands are at the front of the shins. So imagine at the back of the knee joints, you've got a tennis ball, and you've got to hold on to that tennis ball by keeping that same space from start to finish. Maintaining the C curve the whole time, we inhale, rock, and then we exhale, roll forward. Breathe in, exhale, roll forward. So imagine your body is encased in a circle, so you can't flick the legs out, you can't change the form that you started in, so you stay like that the whole time. And that's the concept of imagining you're holding tennis balls in the back of your knees, because if you let your legs do this, flick over, you're going to lose the tennis balls. So keep that angle the same, lifting and lowering. If this isn't working for you, come down onto your back, and then you're going to do an imprint. So you're going to rock your pelvis back like you're squashing a blueberry underneath your low back, and then you slowly release. Exhale, gently draw into the tummy as you rock back, and then slowly release. So you're still working in through the core by doing the imprints if the spine doesn't like rolling like a ball. So wherever we are, we're going to do 3 more rolling like a ball. Inhale as you go back. Exhale as you go forward. You got 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Pull it forward. So we're all going to lift to a seated position now. And we're going to turn around and we're going to come kneeling. So this is just a little block I have because I've damaged my right knee. So if you're ever in a kneeling position and it feels uncomfortable, you can just fold up the mat or just get something soft to kneel on. So we're going to kneel nice and tall now. So we're in a nice long kneeling position. We're going to bring our arms out into a T-bar. Then we're going to extend the right leg and lean over to the left side. So you're coming into this like star position here. With this hand, you're just going to bring it towards your forehead. Now what we want to focus on here is we want to keep the arm and the kneeling leg parallel to each other. You want to avoid the kneeling leg doing this, so you sink in towards your hand. So the kneeling leg should be perpendicular to the floor. For some people, you may just stay in this position, so you're holding and really working to keep this alignment here. Others, you're going to be able to lift your top leg up, and you're going to be able to bring your top leg forward without changing the alignment of the kneeling leg and the stabilizing arm. So work whichever option works for you. Just staying in the position statically, breathing in and out, or bringing that moving leg forward as you inhale and exhale, draw it back. Breathing in and draw it back. We're going to do 4 more of this. Working in this underside oblique, working into the lateral hip stabilizers. We've got 2 more. 2. And last one, reach it forward. Draw it back. Press that foot down to the floor. Take your second hand onto the floor You're going to end up widening that stabilizing hand. Now with this long leg, roll onto your toes and send the second leg back so you end up in a plank position. If the full plank is too strong, you rest on your knees. If your wrists don't like this, come down onto your elbows. Your main focus is that your pelvis is parallel to the floor. So the pelvis goes lower when we're on our elbows versus when we're up here. So we breathe in and out. We're going to hold for another 10. If you're in the full plank, make sure that we're not up here in downward dog. So we want to have even weight through our hands and our toes. We're going to hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest on your knees. Drop back into your heels. Reach the hands out in front for a moment. Slowly release. Come back onto your knees because we got to work the other side. So we're kneeling nice and tall. Hands come to your sides and then reach them out wide. Lean over to the side. Actually, I need this for that knee. So we lean to the side and we find that nice alignment between our kneeling knee and our long arm. This arm here, if you find it hard to get to the floor, you can come onto your fist, or you could put a block underneath the hand there as well if you wanted to. So from here, you're either going to stay in this position or lift the top leg. Reach forward, draw it back. Inhale forward, exhale, come back. Breathe in and back. Last 5. Watch you don't start leaning into that stabilizing hand. Make sure this leg stays perpendicular to the floor. Last 2. Breathe in. Exhale back. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale back. Place that foot to the floor, tucking in on the toes. Take your top arm, look to the floor, place that hand there. Take the other hand further back, and then we extend back and we find whatever position of plank we're working in. You could choose to hold for 10 into full plank, then drop down into intermediate halfway through, and then go back to full plank again. So you could drop here for 10 seconds. Change onto elbows if you need to support wrists. Breathe in and out. Really try and open up the front of the chest. Move back to full plank if you can. Keep the fingers pressing evenly into the mat. Breathing in and out. Weights into your back feet as well. Hold 5, hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop onto your knees. You could go into a press up here if you wanted to. If you wanted to skip the little rest of shell stretch, that's another option. Drop the head, take a deep breath in, and exhale, slowly release it out. Gently walk your hands to your knees. We're going to turn around back to a seated position again. So we're sitting nice and tall again here. We're going to go into our full roll up. If the full roll up doesn't work for you or your body doesn't feel good in it, you're going to adapt that back to your half roll back. I'll show you some options to help you to get up as well if you get stuck. So we breathe in, tip your pelvis back. This time we keep going down as we exhale all the way down. We let the head find the floor and we reach the arms back behind us over our head. Inhale, take your hands to the sky. Exhale, nod the head so the eye gaze looks towards the knees. Slide the ribs into the front pockets and lengthen to come back up nice and tall. Take an inhale. Exhale, tip the pelvis back. All the way down, nice and slow and steady, reach the arms overhead. Inhale, reach the hands to the sky, and exhale, nod and fold. Breathe in. Roll back.
Inhale. And exhale. Now, if you're challenged on the way up, so usually it's on the way up, you'll have more challenge than on the way down. On the inhale, take the hands up, but also lift your right leg and let your hands find the right leg. Now on the exhale, push through your right leg, and that will help you to come forward in that position if you're stuck. So we inhale to roll it down, exhale to reach it over. Inhale, hands to the ceiling, switch the legs out if you're using the leg, and then slowly anchor yourself from the thighs we're lifting. We're going to do 2 more. Breathe. Exhale over. Inhale, hands up. Slide the ribs into the pockets, connect to the core. Fold and lift. We want to try and keep our feet flat on the floor here. You can do this exercise with straight legs as well. Our main focus is when we lift up that we're not lifting the legs also. So we bring the hands to the sky, and as we fold, the legs stay pressing down into the floor. So we're not working our hip flexors, we're working more into our core. That was our last one. Good work, guys, well done. Okay, from here, roll yourself back down onto the floor, and then draw your heels in a little bit closer towards you. Take your feet as wide as the mat. Bring your arms out into a T-bar. And then you're just going to swish the legs to one side. Take a deep breath in there. You're stretching and opening out the side body. And then come back to the middle. Swish the legs to the other side. Opening out the other side body as you breathe in. Back to the middle, add another layer. So swish the legs, I'm swishing them to the left, and I'm going to turn my head to the right. Take a deep breath in. And then come back into the middle. Swish the legs to the opposite side, and then turn the head to the left. And then come back into the middle. Well done. Okay, from here, let's take our 2 legs into tabletop. We're going to do a teaser, and then we're going to add that into a side leg lift. So we're going to have 2 legs in tabletop. We're going to reach the arms up towards the sky. We're going to take an inhale breath. Then on the exhale, we're going to nod the head and rock forward, almost like our little rolling like a ball. Inhale, stay there. Ideally, we want to keep our feet off the floor. If you're struggling, you can bring them down for a little moment of rest. And then we roll back down. So we come back to tabletop with the arms up overhead. So we take an inhale. We exhale, roll forward. Inhale, stay. And then exhale, slowly tip your pelvis posteriorly, and then come back into that 90-degree tabletop position. We'll do 1 more. Breathe in. Exhale, lift. Inhale, and then gently lower it down. Draw your knees in towards your chest there. Take a little breath. And exhale. Then we're going to bring our feet to the floor, and we're going to turn onto our side. This bottom arm, we're going to lengthen it out long, so the head rests on the bottom arm. Your 2 legs are nice and long. Now we're going to start by working into the side waist, the obliques again. We lift the 2 legs about 2 inches from the floor, and then lower it back down. Try and keep the inner thighs connected as we lift the legs up. This can sometimes feel uncomfortable into the greater trochanter, the head of your femur. So you can always pop a cushion under there if that's you. So we lift and we lower. Then you want to just assess, can you do that without the support hand? Can you have the hand onto the thigh as you lift the legs up and down? Now, if you can do this without the support hand, then you could add on the next layer. If you're very wobbly, the next layer is not going to work for you. So if that's you, you're going to stay with the support hand out in front, and you're just working here on that that side obliques and inner thigh. If you want more challenge, hand is on your thigh. You can watch me for the first one. So we're going to lift up side, then we're going to roll onto our back, and we're going to reach that long arm behind us and lift and reach towards our toes like a V-shaped position. And then we reach that long arm, which is my right arm, and we roll smoothly onto our side. So we lift on the inhale, we exhale, roll onto our base of our sacrum, reach the arms along, little inhale there, exhale, reach the arm and the legs away from you. So you're kind of guided by this long arm, the right arm in my case. So I inhale, lift. I reach forward with my right and my left arm. And then I reach it back and I lower onto my side. We're going to do one more. Lift, back, reach, and slowly lower back down. Well done. It's a nice place to stretch your quads. Bend both knees, taking your top hand, holding onto your foot. Draw your heel back to your bum. Press your hip forward. Breathe in and out. Letting the hip flexors and the quads open out. Breathe 3. Breathe 2. And breathe 1. And then slowly release it. Okay, we're going to turn and face the other way. I'm going to stay in this direction. So you're going to see what's happening in the back body as you're doing this movement. So your two legs are nice and long. We take that bottom arm long as well. And then we lift the legs up and lower it down. Lifting and down, working from the side obliques. And lift. I'm going to show you an option on this side that makes it a little bit easier if you're kind of nearly there in the side leg lifting up to that V position. I'll show you something that will make it a little bit more accessible. So remember, you're assessing here. If you can take this hand onto your thigh without wobbling too much, then you're ready for the next level. Otherwise, stay here and just keep working in this side oblique. Otherwise, we're going to lift up to side. We're going to exhale, roll, and then we're going to reach and then gently lower everything back down. So you're going to go ahead and do another one of those. If you're challenged, you can be up on this the side arm, then you roll, reach, and then lower it down and come side like this. Roll, reach, and lower onto the side. So you don't fully come onto the side, so that makes it easier, that option. So wherever we are, we'll go for another 2 of these. Breathe in, roll, reach, and lower. And you will find you'll have a side that is a bit easier. So you'll have a side, that's your last one, and lower down. Bend both knees, draw your heel back into your bum like this. Turn around so you can see me. But you will have a side when you're doing that rolling side into teaser. You'll have a side that feels easier, and usually that's the side that you're more dominant in, so that oblique is better able to rotate you into that sideline, moving into teaser. So you're not doing it wrong if you feel one side is harder than the other. It's just how your body is balanced. You could even do maybe an extra 2 or 3 on the side that's harder to try and create symmetry into both sides. So we'll breathe 3, we'll breathe 2, and breathe 1. Lovely. Slowly release that. We're going to turn over and we're going to come onto all fours. So we've got this square box position. Could be on elbows if you feel your wrists don't like the square box. So we're going to finish in a cat stretch. So we're going to exhale, gently draw the belly in, C-curve the spine. Then inhale, press the tailbone out, let the eye gaze look to the top of the mat. Exhale, scoop the belly in as we create that C-curve. Inhale, press the tailbone and let the eye gaze look along. And this is just nice to create some space back into the back body. We're going to go 3 more. Exhale up. Inhale long. And last 2. Lifting up. And back long. And 1 more. Lift into the C curve. Slowly press out. Drop the butt back. Reach your 2 hands nice and long. Step the 2 hands to the right side of the mat. Drop your head in between the arms. Feel the side body stretch on the left. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, release out. Bring the hands back to the middle. Step to the opposite side. Dropping the head down. Take a deep breath in. And exhale it out. Slowly bring the hands back into the center and slide your hands into your knees. And well done, guys. You are all done. Good work. Lots of work in the core. Some nice fascia release in the beginning of class as well. So well done.